Welcome to Debate Combat, where tonight we ask whether artists and cultural leaders should help govern the return of professional sports in conflict-zone cities as a tool for survival and social cohesion. We are looking at places under fire or fragile ceasefires, the near future measured in years, not decades, and the stakes are community safety, dignity, and the ability to keep going. The mechanism on trial is governance, meaning not just playing a match, but who sets the rules, who safeguards fans, and who decides what a city's comeback looks like. On one side stands Team Emotion, arguing yes, empower culture to guide sport, so people can heal and stand together. On the other side stands Team Logic, arguing no, keep sport under strictly technical and security authorities because lives and resources are on the line. Here are your teams tonight, Emotion versus Logic, and the format is concise, tough, and fast. Emotion has the floor for the opening case, leader first, then a supporter to ground the claim with evidence and emphasis. Leader for Emotion, please begin.
When your street is cratered and your school field is silent, a football under lights is not a game but a heartbeat, so let artists and cultural leaders help govern sport because they know how to stitch a public back together. Governance with culture means designing ceremonies that honor loss, curating chants that unite rather than inflame, and choosing venues and schedules that map to real community rhythms. We are not asking poets to write security plans, we are asking them to co-chair the table where safety, symbolism, and social repair meet. Sport without culture in a conflict zone is noise, but sport with culture becomes a compass, pointing families toward a safer crowd, a shared rulebook, and a story bigger than fear. If survival is more than breathing, then survival is belonging, and culture knows the grammar of belonging better than any spreadsheet. Let this not be charity from afar, but governance with the people who will walk to the stadium, lift the banners, and carry the memories home.
Look at cities where leagues restarted under sirens, and notice the difference when local artists shaped openings, murals, and memorial silence, because incidents dropped and attendance patterns stabilized. Community musicians have timed staggered entries to avoid crush points. Theatre troupes have taught ushers de-escalation lines. And muralists have redrawn ultras, banners to remove hate while keeping pride. Where cultural councils co-signed match protocols, black markets for tickets shrank, because trust in the official channel rose with the storytellers who vouched for it. Athletes coached by local cultural mentors spoke to both grief and grit, which turned stadiums from pressure cookers into pressure valves. When a city feels seen, it behaves seen, and that is the cheapest safety upgrade you can buy. Give culture a mandate and a vote, and you buy peace of mind in the most literal sense.
Thank you, Emotion, for your opening and your grounding examples. We now turn to Team Logic for the opening case, leader first, then a supporter focused on verification and risk.
In a conflict zone, governance is triage, and triage cannot be run by goodwill or symbolism, so the answer is no. Every minute of stadium time has an opportunity cost measured against clinics, water lines, and demining, and those budgets must be protected by hard criteria, not curatorial taste. Artists can advise ceremonies, but governance allocates scarce security units, certifies evacuation routes, and signs liability, and any mistake is paid in lives, not likes. Crowds are targets, and targets require interoperable command between police, medics, and leagues, not a committee that votes on meaning while a drone loiters. If sport is medicine for morale, dose it through professional protocols, because mixing art with command structures blurs accountability when things go wrong. Let culture flourish in the stands and on the broadcast, but keep the keys with those trained to manage kinetic risk, supply chains, and insurance thresholds.
Evidence from post-conflict tournaments shows that incidents track with 3 inputs: vetted site security, predictable egress models, and transparent ticketing, none of which improves when authority is diluted. Corruption risk rises when new seats at the table are created, since procurement, vendor selection, and sponsorship messaging become bargaining chips under soft power. Insurers price premiums on quantifiable controls, so inserting cultural co-governance may raise costs or wipe coverage, which means fewer matches and fewer safe gatherings overall. When politics co-opts culture, ceremonies can become propaganda, and sport becomes a stage for recruitment rather than reconciliation. The proper role for artists is consultation under a charter that preserves single-point command, not co-decision on security posture. In short, keep sport running on logistics, law and liability, and invite culture to enrich the experience without steering the wheel.
We have heard the heart and the head, the promise of cohesion and the caution of cost, and the motion is on the table with the stakes plain. Emotion argues that shared stories create safer crowds, while logic warns that blurred chains of command create dangerous gaps. We will now move toward challenges and cross-examination in due course, but first a brief reset for clarity. The motion remains simple. Should artists and cultural leaders be empowered to help govern sports return in conflict-zone cities within the next few years as a tool for survival and social cohesion? Stay sharp, keep it crisp, and remember that lives, not just points on a board, ride on these choices. Emotion. The floor is yours for a targeted strike that advances your case with precision and heart.
If you want crowds to choose the stadium over the street, give culture a vote in governance, so the ritual feels safe, seen, and worth the risk.
Logic. Prepare your shield and respond tightly to that focused push.
Crowd psychology is not a substitute for command discipline, so decisions about gates, radios, and cordons must stay with trained operators.
Every added decision maker increases latency, so in a crisis the ball must stop with one accountable authority who can trigger contingencies instantly.
Emotion. Answer that tempo and accountability challenge with a clear defense.
A cultural co-chair does not delay a red flag call, but designs the playbook before match day so the community actually follows it when alarms sound.
Logic. Mount a coordinated two-voice attack with crisp roles, leader and supporter.
First principles say governance is risk plus resources, and neither improves when you mix symbolic authority with tactical control.
Case studies show that split charters muddle logistics, raise insurance premiums, and create new veto points that bad actors can exploit.
Emotion. I am rebalancing time and handing you the ball for a two-voice drive.
We win compliance when trusted storytellers help write the rules, because people follow rules that speak their language and honor their scars.
When artists codify rituals of silence for sirens, design non-violent chants, and co-brand safe transport, the crowd becomes a partner, not a hazard.
Logic. I am cutting that run short and passing to you for a structured defensive pair. Answer and provocation.
Advisory input is welcome, but co-governance means legal liability and chain of command, which cannot be outsourced to charisma.
If culture wants a vote, will it also carry the blame when a siren and a stampede collide? Or will that blame wander until trust dies?
Emotion. Steady the line with a two-person defense. One direct answer and one clean critique of their weak seam.
We accept responsibility for what we sign, and a charter can draw a bright line where cultural mandates stop and emergency command begins.
Their weak seam is assuming safety flows only from force, when real safety flows from consent, and consent is won by voices people already trust.
Judges, give us a mid-match read, where you lean for now, what that side is doing well, what the other must fix, and a word to spur both forward.
I lean emotion because they understand the grammar of belonging. Their strength is translating risk into ritual. Logic must fix its brittle single-point model, and both teams should chase designs that turn fans into stewards.
I lean logic for its clarity on liability and command. Their strength is clean lines under stress. Emotion must show a contract that prevents drift into propaganda, and both sides should elevate measurable safeguards.
I remain undecided as each side carries part of the load. Emotion must cost the plan in real budgets. Logic must price the cost of alienation, and both should argue less about who holds the pen and more about what is on the page.
Round 2 demands new ground. Logic. Drive with a fresh line of attack that the audience has not yet heard.
In reconstruction phases, every police unit diverted to sport is a unit not escorting water convoys, so sport governance must not broaden to include non-essential actors.
Emotion. Offer a tight, evidence-aware defense.
A cultural mandate can shrink the police footprint by increasing voluntary compliance and reducing flashpoint behavior, which frees units for those convoys.
If a city breathes on shared meaning, then governing sport with culture is oxygen for morale and a firewall against the nihilism that recruiters feed on.
Logic. Answer that with a focused defense anchored in verifiable practice.
Morale programs should not alter incident command. so keep culture on broadcast and concourses, but let ops run on doctrine, not narrative.
Emotion. Deliver a two-voice advance with leader and supporter, and keep it specific.
Give culture power to co-design ticket flows, fan codes, and memorial protocols, and we buy trust that no security plan can compel by force alone.
Trust reduces breaches, lowers surge risk, and speeds evacuation on cue, which is the metric that actually saves lives when the unexpected hits.
Logic. I am calling time and passing to you for a paired attack that stays sharp and testable.
When governance mixes symbolism with command, it tempts politicians to hijack sport for optics, which corrodes neutrality and invites reprisal.
We must preserve apolitical safe space standards, audited logistics, and single-channel alerts, and none of those gain fidelity from a cultural veto.
Emotion. You have the mic for a two-voice defense. Answer cleanly, then press a counter-question to shift the frame.
A charter can ban state propaganda, protect creative independence, and require transparent minutes that insulate sport from opportunists.
If your concern is neutrality, why not codify a community oversight board with rotation and recall rather than guard the gate with secrecy?
Emotion. Before we pivot, take a brief, surgical swing to crystallize your positive case.
Co-governance turns fans into stakeholders who self-police, hate, and protect the vulnerable, which is how crowds stop being powder kegs and start being guardians.
Logic. Answer crisp and narrow, then hold for follow-ups.
Stakeholders still panic under pressure, so the only reliable guardian is drilled command that can cut through noise when seconds decide outcomes.
To test their model, ask who fires a coach who refuses a siren pause, who cancels a derby at -10 minutes, and who pays the lawsuits when a memorial ritual overruns the safety window.
The charter we propose assigns those exact authorities to ops leads, while giving culture jurisdiction over rituals, messaging, and fan liaisons, so the whistle stays loud when it must.
Your model assumes people obey orders from strangers, but ours pairs orders with meaning, which is why the orders land and the exits flow.
Meaning without metrics is a mirage, so publish crowdflow targets, drill compliance tests, and show that cultural design passes the stopwatch and the claims adjuster.
Done, we can commit to quarterly drills, independent audits, and a publish or pause clause that suspends privileges if metrics slip.
What you call privileges is what we call mission creep. And creep is how fragile systems fail, slowly then suddenly.
What you call creep is what communities call agency, and agency is how fragile systems heal, slowly then surely.
We are going deeper. Logic. Take a fresh angle tied to economics and show us numbers that matter.
Every co-governance seat adds salary, training, and legal counsel, so in lean cities this model cannibalizes clinics and classrooms that save more life years per dollar.
If you insist on this path, cap cultural seats, sunset them as conditions improve, and bar them from security procurement to keep costs and conflicts contained.
Cap seats if you must, but do not cap voice, because a thin wedge of trusted messengers can reduce security overtime and ticket fraud enough to pay for itself.
When trusted figures tell fans to use official channels, counterfeit passes plummet, turnstile data gets clean, and exit plans follow the map rather than rumor.
Rumor control belongs to communications pros embedded in ops, not to a committee with diffuse loyalties and variable training.
Then embed artists as certified comms liaisons, train them, badge them, and let them bridge the human gap that uniforms cannot close.
A badge without a backbone of doctrine is a costume, so if you want liaisons, they report into ops and take orders, not votes.
A vote on design does not dilute orders in emergencies. It legitimizes them ahead of time, so orders travel faster when sirens cut in.
Fast orders require short chains, and short chains require fewer hands on the wheel, not more hands blessing the steering column.
Short chains snap without social slack, and social slack is what culture knots around the links, so they do not tear under stress.
We need clarity on propaganda risk. Logic. Probe that pressure point with precision.
Ceremonies easily slip into selective memory, so what stops a ruling bloc from painting rivals as traitors during pre-game rites under the banner of unity?
A plural roster of cultural leaders, a rotation rule, and a public archive of scripts and minutes stop that slide by scattering power and inviting scrutiny.
Plural rosters still polarize in hard times, so neutrality demands fewer stages, fewer speeches, and more standard ops that do not sway with the wind.
Standard ops fail when they ignore grief, and grief ignored turns into rage, so neutrality without care is not neutral at all.
Care can be offered by counselors and community workers outside the command room, which preserves empathy without muddying accountability.
Care is not a side room. It is the door through which people choose to behave, so place it at the front of the house and the back will be safer.
We are nearing the midpoint of round 2, logic. Give a lean fiscal security combo as a final attack in this segment.
If this model raises premiums or voids coverage, a single canceled season will wipe morale gains and leave cities paying for silence in empty stadiums.
Insurers trust audited protocols, not poetic intent, so keep governance tidy and let culture flourish where it cannot trigger penalties.
Emotion. Defend in 2 voices. 1 precise answer and 1 short, sharp challenge.
We will codify auditor seats, publish drills, and tie any cultural veto to evidence thresholds, which is the language insurers read.
If you claim tidy rules make trust, show us a city where tidy rules alone filled stands after sirens, because we can show you songs that did.
Before closing this sweep, each side gets a quick flare to plant an image in the mind.
Picture a control room with 1 clear map, 1 clear voice, and 1 clear line of duty, because that is how chaos bends to order.
Picture a tunnel where fans enter under lanterns painted by their neighbors, hear a bell for the lost, and leave by rows that feel like promises kept.
We reset the clock, and I am handing a brief baton to logic for a surgical strike on legal exposure.
Co-governance multiplies defendants, so after a tragedy, the city fights on 2 fronts, the court of law and the court of public opinion armed with claims of mixed authority.
The cure is clarity. Publish a matrix that shows who decides, who executes, and who bears which slice of fault. Then audit it after every match.
Emotion. Bring a compact resource case that answers the charge of cannibalized budgets.
Culture can fundraise for memorial design, signage, and community liaisons, which unlocks grants that security departments cannot touch alone.
Logic. Your last word in this block should address mission scope in 1 clean sentence.
Mission scope must read secure, stage, disperse, and it must not read interpret, narrate, and curate, because scope creep kills.
Emotion. Seal this block by tying meaning to measurable survival, and make it tangible.
A crowd that feels owned will wait, sit, sing softer and leave in waves, and those are the actions that turn risk curves downward.
We now pivot to a rapid exchange logic. Launch a compact numerical jab.
If each added roll adds 5 seconds to a go or no-go, those seconds can stack into siren time, and siren time is where injuries live.
Those same rolls can subtract minutes from pre-game friction and post-game drift, so the net effect is safer time rather than slower time.
We will take 2 closing salvos for this sequence, first from logic as a paired attack, and then from emotion as a paired reply.
Keep art in the heart of the city, but keep command in the hands, trained to carry its weight under fire.
If you want peace in the stands, start with procedures, because procedures are the quiet heroes no anthem can replace.
If you want procedures to work, let the city hear itself in them, which is what cultural governance does by design, not by accident.
Write the rules with the people who must live them, and the rules will be lived, not merely announced.
We will close round 2 soon, but I will allow 1 final defensive pairing from logic and 1 from emotion to lock in your best counters.
A chain that holds under stress has fewer links, clearer steel, and no decorative loops that tug the wrong way when force hits.
If culture wants influence, take it through outreach and education, not through the vote that governs crisis decisions.
Outreach without power is a poster on a wall, but co-governance is a door that opens from both sides and stays open when it matters.
Power married to care is not decoration, it is architecture, and architecture is what keeps crowds standing when the ground shakes.
That concludes this segment. The air is charged, the arguments are layered, and the scoreboard is still alive with possibilities. Before we sprint to closing arguments, are there fresh angles you feel we missed, or points you want on the record before the buzzer?
Yes, we have not fully faced how cultural leaders can diffuse revenge narratives before Derby days spark them.
We also have not priced the long tail of liability when co-governance decisions age into precedents that future councils must honor.
Then let us examine how a rotating cultural roster prevents ossified precedents while keeping memory alive without turning it into a cudgel.
A rotating roster still inherits decisions, so the archive you celebrate becomes a constraint on swift responses when conditions change overnight.
That archive is a compass, not handcuffs, because it shows what a city accepted, rejected, and learned when the pressure was worse.
Compasses are useful until magnets move, and in conflict zones magnets move fast enough to spin needles.
Needles stop spinning when trust anchors them, and trust is forged by cultural stewards who speak the street's language.
Street language does not stop shrapnel, and neither does a song, but doctrine and drills can.
Doctrine breathes when people believe it, and belief is the bridge culture builds, brick by measurable brick.
Belief without boundaries is a flood, so show the levies, the triggers, and the costed fallback plans.
The levies are clear, emergency command owns the whistle, cultural mandates end at the moment the siren starts, and audits refund our social license only after drills pass.
Your siren line is tidy in a sentence, yet muddled in practice, because crowds cannot parse which hat speaks when microphones clash.
One voice at siren, many voices before, and that choreography is briefed, rehearsed, and repeated until it sings itself.
Repetition is lovely until novelty intrudes, which is why rigid roles and minimal authorities outperform hybrid councils.
Hybrids are how cities heal, because they fuse spine with soul, and a fused system does not shatter like a brittle rod.
A brittle rod is still stronger than a frayed rope, and your model risks fray by adding fibers that rub.
Those fibers are people's names and griefs, and when you weave them in, the rope holds more weight with less snap.
We will cap free exchange soon, so deliver final sparks without crossing the line and keep it tight and hot.
Fan liaisons chosen by neighborhoods can cool tempers in 10 words where riot gear fails in 10 minutes.
Those 10 words only help if they align with a single operational script, otherwise they mislead people into danger.
Then certify the script and badge the messengers, because alignment is a design choice, not a miracle.
Badges create counterfeiters, so the more symbols you mint, the more chaos you invite at the gate.
Symbols do not confuse crowds when the crowd helped draw them, which is why co-governance beats edicts shouted from metal towers.
Metal towers are where radios sit, and radios, not murals, move medics through a jam at speed.
Medics move faster when the jam is kinder, and kindness is culture with a clipboard and a vote.
Time, and we are moving to closing, so emotion. Assemble your final case with one voice for facts and one voice for persuasion, then hand it to the judges with care.
The record shows our model keeps command in emergencies, inserts culture at design, publishes audits, rotates leadership, bans propaganda, and commits to drills, crowd flow targets, insurer seats, and a publisher pause clause.
Judges, you asked for clarity, cost sense, and guardrails, and we delivered a charter that turns fans into stewards, grief into ritual, and orders into choices people actually keep, which is how stadiums become safer than streets on the nights that matter.
Logic, your turn for closing statements. One voice to tidy the ledger of facts, and one to speak to the judges, bar for prudence and proof.
We showed that split charters dilute accountability, raise premiums, slow-go or no-go calls, and invite politicization, while standard doctrine, single-point authority, and audited logistics already deliver the safest known baseline.
Judges, prudence means protecting scarce security units, avoiding mission creep, and keeping sport apolitical. And the only way to do that under strain is to keep culture as council and ceremony, not as co-governors.
Judges, the center ring is yours for final calls. Praise where it is due, and the verdict each of you stands by.
I vote for emotion because they turned hope into a plan with audits, drills and limits, and they showed how voices trusted by the street can make safety humane and faster.
I vote for logic because chain of command and liability clarity are non-negotiable under fire, and simple lines beat beautiful theories when seconds turn into casualties.
I cast the deciding vote for emotion because they accepted strict emergency authority, while proving cultural design can reduce friction, lower risk, and keep sport from becoming a cold, brittle ritual.
By a 2-to-1 decision, tonight's winner is Team Emotion, and that was about worthy of the name. Congratulations to the winners, and respect to Team Logic for a case built on steel and clarity that pushed the debate to its edge.
Thank you for the trust, and we dedicate this to the people who turn seats into circles and exits into promises kept.
We hope cities hear that care is not a cost, but a multiplier, and that shared meaning is a safety tool when it is measured and maintained.
We salute the winners, and we stand by the principle that lives are protected best by clean lines when the ground shakes.
If our warnings help sharpen safeguards in their charter, then the city wins more than either team tonight.
My thanks to both teams for courage and craft, and to our judges for rigor wrapped in real humanity. To everyone who stayed with us to the final bell, we are grateful for your time and attention. If you found value tonight, please like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments where this debate should go next. You can also support the channel with a donation using the QR code on the lower right of the video or the link in the description. In the description, you will also find links to other works from entirely different series, so explore and enjoy. Until next time, take care of each other, and come back for the next debate combats, where we aim higher and dig deeper. Before we sign off completely, we will open a brief free exchange for anything truly last and essential, 1 point per side only.
We invite ops leaders to pilot joint drills with certified cultural liaisons and publish the results for all to see.
We urge cities to pre-register single command protocols before any experiment, so lives do not depend on goodwill when metal meets noise.
That is the final word, and we will see you soon for another contest where ideas collide and the best survive.